The first sign, and perhaps the most undeniable, is that your conversations have a natural flow that feels effortless. You're not stuck in awkward silences, scrambling to think of something to say. Instead, the words just seem to come, like two rivers merging into one stream. You could be talking about something as mundane as your breakfast, or something as deep as your life goals, and it still feels engaging. The important detail here isn't the topic, it's the energy. If you notice that every time you speak, there's a subtle undertone of excitement in their voice, a warmth in how they respond, and a genuine curiosity in their questions, it's not just politeness, it's attraction dressed up as conversation. People don't invest that kind of energy into someone they don't care about. And if you both find yourself looking for excuses to keep the conversation going, adding by the way or, oh, one more thing, just to avoid ending the moment, you're not just talking, you're connecting. The second sign is mirroring, not just physically, but emotionally. You find yourselves sitting in similar positions, matching each other's tone, even laughing in sync. This isn't conscious, it's the subconscious aligning to say, I'm with you. Humans have been doing this since before we had language, and when two people are attracted to each other, their bodies naturally fall into this rhythm. But beyond the physical mimicry, there's also emotional mirroring. If one of you shares something vulnerable, the other responds with their own story, matching depth with depth. If one gets excited, the other's energy instantly rises to meet it. You're tuned into each other like two instruments playing in harmony, without needing to rehearse. This isn't something that happens with just anyone. It's the invisible thread that keeps pulling you closer without you even realizing how tightly it's wrapping around both of you. The third sign is that time feels different when you're together. Hours vanish without you noticing. You meet for a quick coffee and somehow end up talking until the cafe closes, or you're on a phone call that was meant to be 10 minutes and suddenly it's 1 in the morning and neither of you wants to hang up. This is one of the clearest indicators that something deeper is at play. When you like someone and they like you back, your brains release dopamine during interactions, and that literally changes your perception of time. It's why you walk away from these encounters feeling like you've been on a mini vacation from the world, even if all you did was sit on a park bench together. If you both keep seeking out these pockets of lost time with each other, it's not a coincidence. It's mutual attraction creating its own little world where nothing else matters. The fourth sign is physical closeness without awkwardness. This doesn't necessarily mean obvious touching or flirting, though that can be part of it, but more about the subtle ways your bodies seem to gravitate toward each other. When you're sitting, your knees end up pointing in their direction. When you're standing in a group, you somehow end up next to them without even trying. There's a magnetic pull that feels comfortable, not forced. And here's the thing, we guard our personal space fiercely with people we feel neutral about. But with someone we like, that invisible bubble shrinks until it practically disappears. You might notice light touches, a hand on your arm when they laugh, a playful shove, or a lingering handshake. If those touches feel natural and welcomed by both of you, it's a clear sign that the comfort is mutual and the attraction is quietly building under the surface. The fifth sign is that lingering after effect. This is when you leave each other's presence and still find yourself smiling hours later. You replay certain things they said, wondering if they meant more than they let on. You notice they've been doing the same. Maybe they text you later, referencing an inside joke from earlier, or they send a meme that ties back to your conversation. It's like you both carry little fragments of the interaction with you, and you're both looking for excuses to weave them back together. This is the phase where overthinking can ruin things, where you might start doubting if they really feel the same. But the truth is, attraction is rarely this balanced. If you're both investing energy, both subtly seeking out more moments together, and both leaving interactions feeling a little lighter than before, you don't need to overanalyze, the signs are already there. One of the strongest unspoken confirmations that you both like each other is the way your eyes behave when you're in the same space. This is deeper than just eye contact. It's about the micro moments that happen before and after. You catch them looking at you when they think you're distracted, and when your eyes meet, there's a brief pause before either of you looks away, as if you're both reluctant to break that invisible connection. Science shows that prolonged eye contact triggers the release of phenylethylamine, the same chemical our brains release when we fall in love, which is why it feels so intense. It's also why you might feel a slight rush in your chest when it happens. This isn't the kind of eye contact you make with strangers or acquaintances. It's warmer, softer, and charged with something unspoken. And when it's mutual, you'll notice that neither of you treats these moments casually. You both hold on to them, even if only for a heartbeat longer than necessary. Then there's the subtle anticipation before meeting each other. If you've ever found yourself checking your reflection twice before you see them, or catching them adjusting their clothes or hair when they spot you coming, it's not just about appearance, it's about signaling value. When people like each other, they instinctively put effort into how they present themselves. It's not vanity, it's biology. We're wired to peacock in the presence of someone we're attracted to, whether that means standing a little taller, wearing something flattering, or putting more warmth into our smile. And you'll notice it's mutual. You're not the only one making small adjustments to look your best. Even if they deny it, their actions give it away. They save their better outfits for when they know they'll see you. They wear a fragrance they didn't have on the last time, or their energy lifts the second you arrive. These aren't accidents, they're subtle investments into your shared connection. Another overlooked sign is how they remember small details you've mentioned. When someone is truly interested in you, they store little fragments of your life in their mind and bring them back later. Maybe you told them your favorite snack in passing weeks ago, and they surprise you with it. Or perhaps you casually mentioned a stressful deadline, and they follow up later to ask how it went. These moments might feel small, but they're significant. They show that your words stick with them, even after the conversation has ended. People don't remember the fine details of everyone they meet. They remember the details of those who matter to them. When this is mutual, you'll notice you're doing the same thing without realizing it. Filing away their favorite songs, the way they take their coffee, the TV shows they're watching. This mutual attentiveness is attraction's quiet way of saying, I see you, and I'm paying attention. Pay close attention to how often they try to create shared experiences. This doesn't always mean big, elaborate plans. It can be as simple as suggesting you check out a new restaurant, sending you a video with "this made me think of you," or asking for your opinion on something they know will spark a fun debate. Shared experiences are like emotional glue. They deepen the bond by creating memories only the two of you have. And if you're both doing this, both looking for ways to involve the other in your world, it's a clear sign that the connection is mutual. You're not just existing in parallel lives, you're actively weaving each other into your narratives. Over time, this creates a rhythm where you both start expecting the other to be there for life's little moments, and when that rhythm feels natural, you're already far beyond casual interest. Perhaps one of the most powerful, yet subtle signs is the way they react when you're distracted or talking to someone else. If someone likes you, their attention shifts immediately the moment they feel your focus slipping away. They might lean in slightly to bring you back into their orbit, join the conversation you're having with someone else, or find small ways to reclaim your attention without making it obvious. And if you like them too, you'll notice yourself doing the exact same thing, not in a possessive way, but because you simply enjoy being in each other's mental spotlight. These micro-jealousies aren't about control, they're about value. When you both naturally gravitate back to each other, even in a crowded room, it's because you're each other's chosen comfort zone. You could be surrounded by 10 people, but if your eyes keep finding theirs, you already know exactly where you want to be. A huge giveaway that you both like each other is the way conversations never really end. Even when the main topic is finished, there's this mutual instinct to keep it going, to find another subject, another joke, another question, just so you don't have to walk away yet. You might notice that you linger after saying goodbye, neither of you quite ready to break the connection. This lingering isn't just about enjoying the moment, it's about resisting the loss of energy you both feel when you part. In psychology, this is tied to something called the Zeigarnik effect, where unfinished interactions stay in our minds longer. You both subconsciously leave small threads dangling in conversations, as if to ensure you'll have a reason to speak again. That's why the next time you see each other, you can effortlessly pick up where you left off, without awkwardness. It's the universe's way of saying, this connection isn't done yet. Then there's the mutual teasing and playful challenges. It's light-hearted, it's fun, but it's also deeply telling. You poke fun at each other in a way that's safe and affectionate, and underneath the jokes, there's an unspoken acknowledgement, I'm comfortable enough with you to play. This kind of teasing creates tension. not the kind that pushes people apart, but the kind that pulls them closer. It's a form of flirtation that allows both of you to test boundaries without stepping too far, and when it's mutual, it feels balanced. You give and receive equally, and the humor flows naturally. You're not afraid to laugh at yourself in front of them, and they're not afraid to do the same. This back and forth becomes a private language, a set of inside jokes only the two of you understand. That exclusivity builds intimacy faster than any grand gesture could. Mutual attraction also shows up in how easily your moods sync. You could be having a rough day, but the moment you see them smile, it pulls you up. The reverse is true too. If they're upset, you feel it, even without them saying a word. This emotional mirroring is a powerful sign of connection, because it means your nervous systems are tuning into each other. It's the same phenomenon that happens when two people in love subconsciously match their breathing patterns or walking pace. Without realizing it, you start adopting similar speech rhythms, facial expressions, or gestures. It's as if being around them naturally brings you into the same emotional frequency. And once that happens, your interactions stop feeling like two separate worlds colliding. They start feeling like one shared atmosphere. Another clear sign is how naturally physical proximity happens between you. This doesn't mean crossing boundaries. It means that when you're together, you both drift closer without thinking about it. You might notice they choose the seat next to you instead of across the room, or they lean in when they talk, even when they don't have to. Your knees might brush under the table, your shoulders might touch when walking side by side, or you might stand just close enough to feel the warmth radiating from them. These aren't conscious moves, they're instincts. Humans are wired to close the physical gap with those they're drawn to, and when it's mutual, neither of you feels the need to step back. Instead, those subtle touches become an unspoken conversation, one that often says more than words could. You'll also notice a mutual fascination with each other's perspectives. It's not just that you listen to each other, it's that you actively seek out each other's opinions, even on small things. You want to know how they think, how they see the world, and what experiences shape them. When attraction runs deep, it's never just physical, it's intellectual and emotional too. You might find yourself playing devil's advocate just to hear how they'll respond, or diving into topics you never talk about with anyone else. And when they're interested in you, they'll do the same. They'll ask follow-up questions, challenge you in ways that feel exciting, and encourage you to share more. These conversations become addictive because they're not about proving who's right. They're about learning each other at a deeper level. One of the most telling indicators is the absence of awkward silences. Most people fear those pauses in conversation, but when you like each other, they feel comfortable instead of uncomfortable. You can sit in a car together without talking, or share a meal in quiet, and it doesn't feel forced. Instead, the silence feels like an extension of the conversation, a space where you can both just be. This kind of comfort is rare, and it doesn't happen without mutual attraction and trust. When you're both genuinely drawn to each other, you don't need constant words to fill the space. Your presence is enough. That's when you know you've crossed into a deeper connection. When the quiet moments feel just as valuable as the loud ones. Another subtle but powerful sign is how quickly they respond to your emotional shifts. If you seem off, they notice, and not in a generic "what's wrong" way, but in a way that shows they've been paying close attention to your patterns. They might point out that you're quieter than usual, or they'll subtly adjust their own energy to match yours. This responsiveness shows emotional investment, and when it's mutual, it creates a feedback loop where you both feel more seen and understood. It's not about fixing each other's moods, it's about being attuned enough to offer support without being asked. That kind of care doesn't come from someone indifferent. It comes from someone who wants to be in tune with you because your state of mind matters to them. Watch for the way they prioritize your presence. If someone truly likes you, they don't just make time for you, they want to. You'll notice they rearrange plans, respond faster, or remember to include you in events or outings, and when you like them, you do the same without even realizing it. You'll check your schedule to see when you can see them next, or you'll find excuses to accidentally be in the same place. This isn't about being clingy, it's about valuing the connection enough to keep it alive. In a world where everyone claims to be busy, prioritizing someone is one of the clearest expressions of interest. And when it's mutual, it's effortless. You don't keep score, you just keep showing up. And that consistency builds a foundation most relationships never have. There's also the unexplainable magnetic pull in group settings. You could both be surrounded by different people, engaged in separate conversations, but somehow your paths keep crossing. You catch each other's eyes from across the room, you end up standing next to each other without planning it, or you gravitate toward the same corner. This isn't coincidence, it's instinct. Social psychologists call it proximity seeking, and it's a behavior hardwired into humans when we feel attraction. It's not about being glued to each other, it's about your subconscious wanting to stay within their orbit, and when they're doing the same, you'll both keep finding each other, no matter how big the room is. Finally, one of the strongest signs is how they light up when they see you, and how you do the same for them. This is the kind of reaction you can't fake. Their posture changes, their eyes widen, their smile becomes more genuine. It's the same for you. You feel a little rush, even if you try to play it cool. This immediate shift in energy is pure chemistry at work. You can tell the difference between someone greeting you out of politeness and someone greeting you out of excitement. And when it's mutual, that moment becomes addictive. It's why you start looking forward to every encounter, and why even the smallest interactions feel like they leave a mark. Another undeniable sign is the way you both remember tiny details about each other. When there's genuine attraction, the brain starts filtering for anything related to that person. Their favorite coffee order, a story they told weeks ago, a casual mention of a dream they have, and when you bring it up later, their reaction is almost always a mix of surprise and warmth. Wow, you remembered that? It's not just about memory, it's about value. Remembering the small things is a way of saying what you share with me matters enough to stay in my mind. And when they do the same for you, it's not a coincidence. It's proof they've been paying attention, even when you weren't trying to be memorable. That mutual attentiveness is one of the clearest, most authentic indicators that there's more beneath the surface. You'll also see it in the way you subtly match each other's energy and mannerisms. Psychologists call this mirroring, and it happens unconsciously when we like someone. You might lean forward right after they do, take a sip of your drink when they take theirs, or match their pace when walking together. Even your vocabulary might start to align. You find yourself using their phrases, and they pick up yours. This mirroring creates a sense of harmony that feels effortless, and it works like a silent signal. We're in sync. When two people are mutually attracted, they don't have to force this. Their bodies naturally want to create alignment. That physical and verbal symmetry makes every interaction feel like you've known each other far longer than you actually have. Another huge giveaway is how naturally you both protect each other's image in public. If someone makes a joke at your expense, they'll subtly defend you or redirect the conversation. If you're about to walk into an awkward situation, they'll warn you with a quick glance or a whispered comment, and you'll do the same for them without thinking twice. This protective instinct is rooted in care. It's not about being possessive, but about making sure the other person feels safe, respected, and comfortable. In social settings, this manifests as looking out for each other's comfort zones and stepping in before things cross a line. That kind of mutual guarding of dignity isn't something people do for just anyone. It's reserved for those they genuinely value. Mutual attraction also reveals itself in how you both seem to find excuses to initiate contact, even for small things. It could be sending a funny meme, asking for their opinion on something minor, or making up a reason to share an update they didn't necessarily need to know. On the surface, these moments might seem casual, but in reality, they're micro-investments into the connection. The point isn't the meme or the question, it's the fact that you thought of them and wanted to engage, even if just briefly. And when they reciprocate, it creates an ongoing rhythm that keeps you in each other's minds daily. This kind of consistent, low-pressure contact builds familiarity and trust, while keeping the spark alive without forcing anything. Lastly, there's the unshakable feeling that you're both each other's safe place. In a chaotic world, where most people drain your energy, this connection feels different, lighter, easier, almost like a relief. You don't have to explain every part of yourself for them to understand, they just get it. And when they're with you, they let their guard down in ways they don't with others. That sense of safety isn't accidental, it's the result of consistent respect, genuine curiosity, and shared attraction. When two people find that balance, it stops being just about chemistry and starts becoming something far rarer, a space where you can be fully yourself without fear of judgment, and know they'll meet you there with the same openness. That's when you know you're not imagining it. You both truly feel it.